call your name, allow you to speak. Please, we want to ensure there should be decorum. So please note your questions down with a pen, write it down as you speak. So both of them are my close friends. Both of them are my close friends. I'll start with that because they say, show me your friend and we know who you are. They're my close friends. Close to the extent that we know each other's family very, very well. And we've known each other for over close to 10 years and over 10 years now. We've lived together to some extent, and I've lived together as neighbors, also lived together on project sites. So I'll start with Barrister Osho here. Barrister Osho was my former colleague, and we're in a team together. We have the department and we're in a team together. We are the brains behind decision making in our company that we were working together then. We decide what works there. In fact, we are the catalyst of what happened there. And Barrister Shaw then was in the IT department. Then suddenly we both left the place and then went our way. I went into setting up of Open Source Global Limited, the biggest center for learning, and he went into law. So I have not had an opportunity of asking anybody this question. How did you, because I know you had this tenacity of IT so much then, you had so much interest into it. Did this Sarah certification about Oracle, but I don't know how he was able to decide to go back to law or what made him to come into IT because at then IT was raining. So Barrister Shaw will share with us his thoughts, his thinking, and then about any other area of career, how he's enjoying his law life now, and then why he changed his life. And then second person we have here is Mr. Theophilus Emmanuel. He's also my friend. I think, okay, he's still here. He's also my friend and my very good family friend. He studied business administration, first class graduate. He will correct me if I'm not right, but I know he's close to first class. He did 2-1 first class. He schooled in the North, and he rose from there, managing a job to become where he is today as a program analyst of British intelligence. Now, this is someone that is also both of them are facilitators. This is someone that I know a lot of people look onto him, both in a place of Christianity or a church or environment he goes. He has a lot of young people that look up to him as regards choice of life, what to do about career. So I will call each of them and I will let them speak to you, and then you hear them. It's an open section where the kind of talk may not be directed to us, I may say it, but they can speak. It's all about career and about choice of decision making. How, because I've spoken to some of you here as regards not knowing what career you want to develop into, to be able to say, this is what I can choose. Now, this is an opportunity for you to know how to make such decision. You are not the only one who has gone through this before. Several of us have gone through this. I never knew today I'll be teaching. I never knew today I'll be teaching at all. Probably God saw it in me. I did not see it in myself, but I'm enjoying it. So it's not supposed to be a long section. So while we are waiting for others to join us, we don't want to waste time. We'll start soon. So I want to welcome Barrister Shaw. First and foremost, I've called your name earlier, into this section. Barrister Shaw, how are you, sir? Your mic, you can unmute your mic.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
Yes, Mr. Lekon,
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Loud and clear.
Yes, I don't know whether, let me just on my video so that you can see my face for a while, and okay.
Yeah, we can see ledgers behind you. Cases
Thank you.
behind you.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, I am Oludoton by name. Mr. Lekon, thank you for this lecture. Thank you for inviting me, and I'm happy to be here this afternoon. As you have said, I am a lawyer. I graduated from, by way of introduction, I graduated from the University of Abuja, and I've been practicing law for 13 years now. Then, let's say, post-call, 15 years. Like Mr. Lekon said, we were together in one ICT firm in Abuja some years back, and we were the think tank of that company by God's grace, and that's where we met, and it has been a jolly ride since then.
Yes, please.
Okay, so if I may just say by way of introduction, what got me into IT. Yes, I've always wanted to be a lawyer. My dad is a lawyer, so I developed interest from him, and I got admission into the university. However, I wanted to have a little knowledge of what computer is. Then we normally have this program they called computer appreciation. I started from there, and after my beginners class in my 100 level, there was this introduction, this scholarship by NIT. I didn't know what it was. They just introduced me to it. Oh, fill this form, NIT scholarship. I think we were the first set then. And they said I was picked for the scholarship. I went for the exam. They said I was among the people that were picked for the exam. And I found myself in the Oracle class. I didn't know what it was. We were just there. But thankfully, there was this ASU strike that kept on coming then. We were in and out of school. So I didn't have any option than to just bury myself in NIT. I resumed there in NIT Abuja Center. I resumed there in the morning and I closed in the evening. There was nobody to stay with at home. So when my dad is leaving for work, I leave also. So from there, I developed interest. I learned a lot of ICT programs, Oracle, Linux, name it. And there I found myself in ICT, and I developed so much interest in it. And that's why I found myself in the ICT industry. And when I graduated, by the time I was graduating, I think I had like 4 or 5 certifications already in ICT. Then I proceeded to the law school. Then I never wanted to practice law again when I found myself in the ICT industry, because I found it to be modern, I found it to be interesting, I found it to be challenging. And yes, that was what happened. I don't know whether, maybe if you want to ask me another question from there, maybe I can ask, or maybe I should just proceed from, I move from ICT back to law. Mr. Lake, are you there? Hello?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Yes. So that's how I found, yes, I said that's how I found myself in the ICT industry. And I think I was good at it when I was there. I remember in one of the, there was one encounter I had sometimes ago, many years ago. My wife, who was my friend then, my wife now, she's also a nice ICT person, and she was working with FCMB, if I can remember very well. And she had some issues on their database. And she called me. I've never been on their system before, but I just put certain questions to her. And in the public bus, I was able to give her a solution to it. And their database was up and running again. And I remember somebody in the bus was asking me, with all these things you are saying, are you an IT expert? I said I am. So that was what happened. But somehow I couldn't, I found out that I wasn't progressing even with my ICT and law. Why? Because I had so many options. Let me put it that way. I discovered that when I wanted to get myself into the IT industry, get employment that is well paid. But I found out that when I go for interviews, yes, I am good at it. In most cases, I get to the finals. But when it comes to my background, most of those employers are scared. they'll be like, how do we place a lawyer in our IT section? It doesn't flow. So that was the challenges I was having then. I remember I had this interview with the then IS at Apti University. I think they shortlisted about 30 of us, and then we went through a round of interviews, and I got to the final stage of 3. And I remember it was an open interview, and they asked me then that whether they sent. There was a question that was posed to me, and I told them that as a lawyer, and having taught myself to this level, I think I should be the best they should pick. And the the American man there was confused. Said, "Are you a lawyer?" I said yes. And he went to my CV and he said, "How come?" He said he thought that I am my BSc or my BTech or BSc in computer science or ICT. And he said he won't be able to recommend me for their department, having a lawyer on their team. And that was when I began to think that whether I could actually go far with all these obstacles I was facing. So I needed to come back to Lagos, where the legal practice is bubbling, and I have to dust my certificates, dust my law books, and I'm here enjoying the legal practice, and I've been on it for 13 years now. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very, very much, Barrister. So I took note of some things you said, though you later came back to law, but I took note of you having certification while you're in school. Why did you have, well, my question, at this time, I'm just asking this question because the entire house asked for that question. Why did you decide to have certification? Why not just the training? What was the essence of you having the certification?
Yes, I was told, I think in the ICT industry, I was told that the certification and the experience goes together, as I was told, or as I saw in the ICT sector then. I think the first thing your employers or anybody that wants to put you on their team will ask for. I think first is your certificate and then is your experience. I discovered in most of the interview I went for, some of them had certifications, but they could not handle the systems or the databases that were given to them. So the certifications were important as more or less like crowning or evidence or credence to your experience or knowledge in the ICT sector. So I was going for them. And like I said, what actually helped me then was the incessant ASO strike. I never wanted to stay at home. So when I just get either as a rumor that hello?
Yeah, I'm with you, sir.
Yes.
Sorry. We're with you.
Yes, I think I've answered the question. I don't know whether you have, or should I take it again?
No. I took note of what you said, that when it was, I'm using 2 devices, so the thing is interfering together. Okay, I think it's better now. So I took note of the fact that you said certification was in demand then.
Yes.
From employers. And
yes,
for you to be able to compete adequately, you need to have the certification, and also the experience also is also expected of you, so that the two can be able to interact. But I didn't see you practice in any IT environment. How did you gain the experience?
Yes, what the ICT training I had is on database, Oracle database management. I actually specialize on that. And when it comes to database, these are the things you don't need to be in an IT environment for you to get experience in that. I did a lot of development and experience on myself. I have my database run on all the operating system that we had. I think except for then, there was this. Okay, I had it on Linux on my system. I had it on Windows on my system. I think there was one other operating system. I can't remember. That was the only one I couldn't get that time. So I could run my database, and I was doing it on. It was a daily experience for me. It was a daily thing for me because I know, like I said, the experience I was having then, or what I was experiencing then, was that nobody wanted to put me on their team as a lawyer. They were looking at it
kind of tutoring yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Particularly, there was one particular interview I had, and I was asked to. It was a practical, and I was asked to install a database, run it on Linux operating system, and I did. And I think there were other two or three other people that were already on the field. I think they had experience of like 4 or 5 years, but they couldn't do it. So that was it.
Okay. Now you said you had several options. That's one area of challenge that many goes through.
Yes.
Yeah, several options. Can you tell us some of those options you had? I know you were trying to say you being an IT person, being a lawyer. Probably were there positive options, or what? I was especially that area for us.
Yes, I think that's the key area I would like to talk about. It was a personal experience for me. I had, there were positive options for me, but they were working for me. They were positive options, but they were working for me negatively. In the sense that
break that place down. Break that place down. They were positive, but they're working for you negative. Break it down.
Yes, yes. This is it. I had ICT certifications that could get me into so many employments, into so many things to be done. Then I have law certificates that could also get me into so many things. So the choice for me to pick was a problem, and access to, or the platform, was the problem. I never wanted to practice law, but I had the certification. I wanted to do ICT. I was not welcome. So it's like having a lot of beautiful dresses, and you want to pick the best for you to go out for a dinner. It will take you time. Yeah. Compared to somebody that all what they had is just a law degree. This person knows that is either he swims or sink with this certificate, or he swims or sink with this profession. So at that particular point in time, as well, I was at the crossroad. Yes, it was a good option for me. Yes, I also need to say that in addition to my ICT certificate and law degree, I also have some other professional certificates in management, in forensic, ICT, in ICT audits and forensic accounting.
You remember forensic audits of Nigeria?
Yeah, yes. So but I also did French along the line. So I have so many things, good certificates, but as one is dragging me, instead of me to concentrate on one, I have my hands on so many things to do. So, and years were going by. For 3 years or 4 years, I was jumping from an interview in ICT to another interview in forensic accounting, and to another interview. So, and my years were going by. So they were good options, but they were working for me negatively. So what I just decided to do at the particular point was to forget about all those ICT certificates, because I know These ones, I have hurdles to cross. And what are the hurdles? I don't have my degree in ICT. So I have to abandon them, and I proceeded with my law degree.
You're very right. So the advice you will be given to anyone here is that it's good to develop yourself in one area of career, no matter how interesting every other one might be, so that you can have one to showcase yourself, right?
I won't say that outrightly, because I won't be fair if I put it in that particular aspect, because in my 13 years of practicing law, I've seen those other certification that I have, particularly in ICT, help me in my legal practice. And it has helped me a lot. A lot. In fact, it has put me ahead and given me an edge over certain other legal practitioners in my field, particularly when it comes to the cases I handle, the type of cases I handle, the way I cross-examine witnesses. Because some of them, by the time, I remember a case I did with, in fact, in banking, for example, my office, we do a lot of, most of our cases are related to banking. And, you know, bankers, they deal with, or banks, they deal with database. In fact, some of them will run on Finacle operating system. So I have an idea. When they come to court and they are telling me what is not, I know what they are talking about. And by the time I ask them one or two questions, they know that this lawyer knows what he's talking about. So it puts them within check as to what to say in court. So I won't outrightly say that, oh, you should limit yourself to a particular area. Why I develop competence in those particular areas, it has actually helped me in the field that I am now. But what I would just say, or what I would just advise, is that why you might put your hand into so many things, because it is also good, it's also beneficial for you to be is it multitasking now? I don't know the right word to put there. Because I believe that an employer will want to get somebody that can multitask. So particular field. But while you can develop competence in other areas, you can look at it and say, oh, this is a particular area in which I want to develop myself. This is an area I want to focus. Then you can pursue it and see how those other areas or other areas that you develop competence can assist you.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. We don't want to waste time. We'll come back to you, Barrister Osho. I'd like to speak to Mr. Theophilus. Mr. Theophilus, I deliberately pronounced that name that way. You're welcome, sir. Mr. Theophilus?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, we're all in Nigeria. I think so.
Oh, is it afternoon? Yeah.
Yeah, we're all in Nigeria. the same
Okay.
time zone covers also. So good evening. So, Mr. Theophilus, I know we've had some sessions like this in the past where we have where we talk about career decision making, and I know somehow there's a bit of you two having that so many options at a time, and also you two having to decide. Somebody put you through decision of going to project management. Can you just share that background of your beginning?
Okay, thank you so much. Perhaps you might see that maybe, I hope you could hear me loud and clear, everyone.
Yeah, we could hear you. I could hear you clear. I could hear you clear. Is that okay?
Okay, great. So thank you so much. Just as he has introduced me, my major is management, but I will emphasize some of the things that I think will be very relevant, considering the nature of the participants having a board, majorly those who are preparing and working towards seeing how career they can build their career. The barrister has already shared with us and has somehow emphasized indirectly the need to define our niche or to carve out a career for ourselves in the relevant area that is relevant to our background. Is necessary. As much as we would like to be versatile, the aspect of being carving our own niche cannot be overemphasized. It's really important. Sometimes in 2008, I've just given a background of how I started. I was posted to Cross River State to serve. Uh, I haven't completed my first degree in business management, major management, business administration, major management. And I was posted to an organization. It's a group of company that has a farm, that has a construction company, has asset and investment section, and many other portfolios. But I was taken as the last of the 6 core members or 5 core members that were taken that year. Now, you know what that means. It's like we just need to just take this guy. You know, also some of you that when you go for service and they say, oh, no place to serve here, or no, rejected, not accepted. So I was taken as the last of the 5 people, 5 core members taken. And they actually took me not having anything on ground for me to do. So it's just a matter of, well, let's absorb him. Maybe we could always give him clearance. So I went to the organization. The organization wasn't prepared for me. And I started to serve in the organization. So I was posted to the farm section of the organization. And I went to the farm. Every other core member that was absorbed, because they were absorbed intentionally, they had something somehow to do. But for me, there was nothing to do. Now, why am I saying this? I am saying this because I'm trying to let you know as you begin your career of the need to identify a problem and provide solution to it. What organizations are looking for, what organizations are paying for, is the value that you are bringing on board. So I went there and there was nothing. But this was the organization, a company that was losing an average of 2 million naira every month. And then the accountant will just collect the accounting report and send it to the headquarters. And then I walk up to the accountant and I say, can you allow me to do unit accounting? Now, mind you, my accounting wasn't my major. So I went there, I say, I want to do some level of analysis of the cost, or where is this loss emanating from in this company. And so I asked him that, can you allow me that when you do the overall accounting for the company, can I do unit accounting? What I mean by that is, I want to know what fishery unit is generating and what is what boiler, what different section of the farm. Is a very massive farm that more than maybe 400 million investment. So I decided to start that unit accounting. That's department by department accounting of the farm. And then I began to notice that the source of the loss is actually fishery. So when I do my unit accounting every month, I will submit it along the report of the accountants to the head office in Calabar. because I was in one particular LGA then, not in Calabar. So, and in less than 2 months, the management of the company took notice of what I was doing. They said, wow, someone has been able to come up and help them to identify the source of the problem, that the competition has to be losing, was losing 2 million every month. So I realized from my analysis, so that was where I started my analysis. I realized from that point that this company, the fishery, they had more than 5,000 matured fish that was feeding fish. If you know little about farming, livestock farming, you realize, understand that fish feed is one of the most expensive feed. And I began to, and I let them know that, okay, yes, you have these species, you are feeding them, but no market for them. And that is where the money is going to. So even the profit that other units were making, the fishery unit was absorbing everything and then crashed down to loss again at the end of the month. So in the 3rd month of my staying in that organization, I had already created a job for myself, even though there was nothing for me in the original plan. And I even became more relevant than those that actually had something in the original plan for them. What are you learning from this? Is that you must identify a problem which you are ready to provide a solution to.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
I didn't want to come in, but I want to come in. How much were you being paid at that time?
Well, I was being paid 5,000 naira, normal core member allowance.
5,000 naira. 5,000 naira,
yeah,
and giving them such solution.
Exactly. Because prior to even going for service, I had already read a book, and that is why I read from Rich Dad Poor Dad. It said, when you're starting a career, you work to learn, not to earn. These are the things that should guide someone when you are starting a career. You go to work either to learn, to earn, or both. If you are not earning and you are learning, is good. If you are not learning and you're earning, it's not completely good. If you are earning and learning, then it's better. So you work to learn when you are starting a career. The point to earn will come. So that principle was part of the principle that was guiding me, and I was giving my all to the organization. So in less than 3 months or 4 months into my working there, I was moved to the headquarters in Calabar. And I became the one that was now working as coordinating other of my colleagues, core member. They will be from different sections, and I will do some level of analysis. And then they asked me that, what is the solution? What can be the solution to this that I've identified? Not just to identify the problem, but just to identify the solution too. Having done some analysis, I realized, okay, they had fish, but there was no market. And the market of fish was rare in Cross River State. Then we made a contact in Lagos with another lady that was in the fishery department. And then we got buyers in Lagos. And on one order, first order, they ordered for more than 3,000 units of fish. And then we decided we moved the fish to Lagos. And what does that mean? It brought income into the organization, and then it crashes the expenditure. And then I suggested that, okay, we need to get, also, we still need to reduce this fish just to maintain the parent stock. The parent stock are the one you use for brooding. Now, some of you will be saying, I never study anything in that line. It's just that I must identify how to be relevant in an organization. So we decided that, okay, what can we do again? We say, okay, let us smoke another 1,000 fish so that they will stop eating. And then we can sell them out as smoked fish. Then arrangement was made, and then we got the equipment for smoking the fish. And then the fish were smoked. And then the expenses there crashed completely. And for the first time, the firm recorded profits in the organization. And going forward, they continue to record profits because the unit that was swallowing all the profits has been identified and taken care of. Now, how I started, from getting to the head organization, the project manager that works in the construction section was ready to work with me already. The asset and investment manager that manages asset and investment was ready to work with me already. And then the farm section also were ready to work with me. So I began to double up as supporting an investment manager. I was supporting the project managers. I began to learn about project management and planning. And by the time I finished my service, I got retained. And that was how I got my first job. I never really applied for a job or attended an interview. But where I got opportunity, I made the fullest, I use it to the fullest. And that is what you look out for as you begin your career, or as some of you are trying to change your career. I will later probably talk on how to change your career. The one thing I tried to do is, as I was working and learning, I began to do some certification. And I realized that since I was tilting towards project management, I did my project management professional training. And now I had to travel to Port Harcourt from Calabar every weekend. Now you could see commitment for me to go and attend training of project management. Very expensive, because then you hardly see trainers around. So the whole of Cross River State, Calabar, we don't have a trainer. So I had to go to Port Harcourt, travel to Port Harcourt to my training. And then I did my training and I wrote my certification and I became a certified project management professional with encouragement from the project manager who happens to be like my mentor. So I will stop here and then probably go further as I continue.
Thank you very, very much. We've spoken a lot. One part I took so much interest in because of my area in HR was that you created a job description for yourself where there was no job description for you. And then so many people have had problems with employees at that time where they would tell me that, oh, they would just sit down.
I couldn't hear you, perhaps, if anybody is hearing you.
I hope everyone can hear me. Can I get another volunteer apart from Mr. Theophilus? You can hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Yeah. So I like that part that you mentioned. You created a job description for yourself. How about challenge with your employees whereby why that the job description will not be created for you, particularly like written form? I don't like when people sit down. I mean, I have a foreign partner. He does not like you sitting down. I mean, you sit down, you're pressing your phone. You ask you, she'll go back and forth, be tossing around. What's going on there? What's going on there? What's going on there? She wants to hear from you that, okay, I'm on this task. This is what I'm doing. That you just sit down, nothing is being given to you. You just create something for yourself within the organization. I know, Mr. Osho, when we created things by ourselves. We created things by ourselves. I'm sorry, Mr. Osho, you can contest to this. We created things by ourselves. So I won't not to talk too much. I want to go to question and answer here now. Would there be any question, whichever area you like to throw to either of the two that would like us to answer here? Let's see your hand opening. You can use the Zoom hand. Okay, Promise has volunteered. Hope. Who else is there? This is an opportunity for you. You know the Telegram group you are coming from is more than just 10 or you that you are here. Except you don't feel this is meaningful to you or you know it all. I don't want to call name. I know people I can call name. I need to see your hand up first. I've seen Promise. Okay, Promise, go ahead. Maybe after you're someone else will raise now. Promise, let's hear you.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay.
Loud and
So,
clear.
okay, thank you very much. My question is based on what Barrister Osho said. And he said that at that time, they didn't allow him to be an IT personnel because he had a lawyer's background. So my question is, at this present time, because in the labor market, they want people with so many skills, they want people with skills. And I, for one, I'm an English student, but I am an intern as an HR, and I've acquired the performance management and appraisal skill and the certificate. So now I want to ask, how can we channel all the skills we have acquired? They can be on different, just like different areas or different fields, but how can we channel it to a particular career? That's my question. How can we channel all the skills we've acquired to a particular career and to make us stand out from our peers?
Barrister Shaw.
Yes, I think the answer is in what Mr. Theophilus just said. The key thing is for you to get yourself relevant in any organization that you find yourself. He said something that is intriguing, is the fact that he created a role for himself where in an organization that is not wanted, or there is no space for him. I don't know whether you are getting me. He created
Yes, sir.
he created a role for himself. Like what Mr. Lekon just referred to. I remember when we were working together in the company in Abuja, the employer employed so many of us with no job to do. We are like 50. We just come in the morning, we lazy around, and we go. And the two of us sat down and said, we cannot continue in this manner. If we are not going, even if they are paying us, then we are not developing ourselves. So we created a course that we were able to sell, even to the Nigerian police then, and they gave us a contract for almost, Mr. Leko, if I'm correct, about 20 states in the country. And we set up the process of getting the first state, which is Kaduna State.
14,000 police officers in Kaduna.
14,000 police officers. I remember we were able to tell them we need a space of 3 weeks because we wanted to do it and quickly move to the next company. Sorry, to the next state. And that thing fetched that company a fortune. Now, in this office I'm working now, by the grace of God, I am the head and the tail of this company, of this law firm. I determines who pays what, I determines who stays, I determines who goes. I've been managing the account of this office for the past 10 years. I manage the HR, I manage almost everything. Aside from my court appearances and my responsibility as a lawyer in this firm. Now, what have I done? Going back to what Mr. Theophilus said, is for you to make yourself relevant. Make the employers know that without you, this organization is going to crash. Now, what happened in my own case was that there was no platform for me. Like I said, the only opportunity I would have had was that of maybe the Apti University, and the man said, if I bring you on board, they will kill you. He's an American citizen. That's what he told me at Sheraton Hotel in Abuja. He said, if I bring you on board, he said, you will be a threat. He said, so for your own sake, just stay away. And I know that if that platform was provided for me, possibly I wouldn't have. I won't be. I will have. I trust myself that I will have made a good use of it. But that platform was not provided. Why? Because one thing they were first of all looking for was the ICT certification. Sorry, ICT degree. Because the stage at which I've gone in ICT profession, then it is unthinkable that I will not have a background at all in ICT. Maybe a BSc in computer science or what have you. So the key thing is for you to make yourself relevant and indispensable in any organization that you find yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Can I also add a little to that? Barrister Osho has done justice to that. I will just add very little thing. I want to point out, are we together? I want to point out that his own case seems to be unique. Why am I saying that? Because you have to consider what course we are talking about here. ICT is regarded as technical field. It's like saying civil engineering. So if I should go and learn how to design buildings using AutoCAD, ArchiCAD, every card, I could manage project, I could do anything on the side. And I will give example of my project management, how I define my niche, even in project management. You see, I don't have an engineering background to go and tell organization that, yes, I can manage projects, I can design, I can build, I can do all. My background in management always be a hindrance or a limit to my progress in career. However, when you link English and human resources is not a technical field per se. It's a field that English can fit in excellently. It's a field that business administration can fit. It's a field different perspective, and that is why you could do MBA, perhaps human resource management. So, but we need to consider what field we are referring to here. So for me now to, if I do with my in management, I went and did construction project management. And I went for interview as a construction project manager. Definitely I will be turned down because my major, my background is business administration or management. And that was part of what I realized then. Having done my certification in project management, I realized that I had experience, a background also in the construction industry, but I cannot be a construction project manager. Even if particular organization accepted me, I am only limiting how far I could go in the field. So I thought, okay, I still want to maintain project management, but I could be a project manager in the development sector. And so I began to think that, okay, because my management background would be so relevant in the development sector. So even though my first degree was business administration, I could switch seamlessly into project management, but defining my niche in development project management. And that was how I found myself having to go on and do some other certifications that are relevant for the development sector, but yet in project management. And I began to switch from that industry, construction, development sector, or investment into development sector. By development, I mean NGO, humanitarian and development sector. And that is how I found myself where I am today gradually. I hope that helps too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Any other person that wants to ask question? I'll call names though, because I have spoken to some of you individually, and I can ask questions. And I've gone through your application, so I know some areas that you need to find out things. Lawrence. Okay, Lawrence, I called your name. I've seen someone else raise hand. Okay, Kingsley has raised hand. Thank you very much. Lawrence, I've called you. Get set. If you are hearing me, get set. Okay, let me take Deborah. Sarah, get set too. Everyone here should ask questions, please. Tell me.
Yes, sir.
Olufun, get set. So Sarah, let's hear you. Sorry, I'm sorry, Deborah, let's hear you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
I just want to appreciate the facilitators for the wonderful talk. It was really great and I enjoyed it, learned from it. But I have a question regarding following your passion. I would like to ask Mr. Theophilus, what is his take in someone following his passion? Probably you studied business administration in school, and that is what you love to do, but you definitely found yourself doing something else, which is totally different from what you studied, and you are thinking whether thinking of going back or continuing where you currently are. For example, now project management and business administration. Are we to follow just the passion, or what makes you earn?
Thank you so much.
That's my question.
Yeah. Oh, great. It's a very otherwise you found yourself working and still being frustrated no matter what your
network.
Say it again.
Okay, we didn't hear your first statement because of network.
Okay, so I say, is it clear? Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Okay, I said the place of passion cannot be neglected. Otherwise, you find yourself working and still being frustrated if you're not in the place of passion. And I will come briefly to it. Now, I intentionally skip that aspect because it's for me, sometimes it's a commonly used terms that people use to de-emphasize the area of other competency, just stresses the issue of I just follow my passion. So I don't want it to sound just like motivational speaker, though it has some element of it, but I want it to sound, to understand that this is not just about the passion is important, but you must pay price to get the prize. So if you study something in school and then you realizes that you are working in a different, when you are starting a career, let me put it this way, when you are starting your career, if something comes that is relevant, though might not the area of your passion, I will advise you kickstart something there, but within your timeline. Give yourself the timeline. When am I going to stay? Let me give an example. Work in a company, not a humanitarian or development sector, and just one study work in the development sector. What I did was I started working in the organization. However, I didn't track of my passion and I always wanted to do. I decided engineering, but I know that I cannot tilt it towards the industry I was. I had to begin to think of how to move to another industry. Mind you, when I had my first, when I worked with that organization, I gave myself like 5 years. Even though that there was not as if I had gathered much experience or whatever to be able to move. And at the expiration of like 5 years, I dropped my resignation. Now you ask me, have I gotten another job for resign? Well, I haven't. As at then, I don't have another job. I resigned because I was ready now to pursue my passion full time. So what I did was that I made sure I prepared myself for the area of my passion while I was working where is not my area of passion in quote. But I look for what is relevant to my area of passion when I was working with that organization. And I did emphasize that. But when I resigned, I relocated to Lagos. I landed my second job. I did not apply as well. The organization that trained me on project management heard I had moved to Lagos, and called me to his office in Yaba, and he made me an offer as associate project management consultant to work with them. And I began to work there. I accepted the offer, but I stayed on part-time basis. And I was also working for HIIT as a faculty. I was training project management. I was working for Aptech as a faculty. I was training project management. But I kept looking for opportunity to join the development sector. So when I saw another job or advert for humanitarian and development sector, they were requesting for, I will give you, they were asking for program assistance, grants and partnership management, but I know it's an NGO. Now, have I managed grants before? No. But have I done end value analysis in project management? Yes, I have done it. Have I managed contract in project management? Yes. What is grant management? It's about contract administration. So I applied for the job. So working in that area that is not core area of passion has prepared me for my area of passion. So when you are in a place that is not your area of passion, what you need to do is begin to look for what will take you to that area of passion, and you begin to emphasize your strength around that area. So I went for the interview. Mind you, what happened? When I got to the interview, the question they were asking me was, they were trying to ask me questions about grant management. I had not managed grants before then. I had managed cost on projects. I had managed contract on projects. So I was responding to them using my background and knowledge in project management. And by the time I finished responding, I'm telling you about some panels of experts. Then GT Bank CEO was on the board. Ambassador Ghana was on the board. We had some HR consultants from top consulting firm. They were on the board. I sat amidst a panel of 9. I was the 10th person. And I truly, completely, so using that one, I gave them what they were asking for, using my background in project management. And then of all the candidates that were interviewed for that role, I was picked. We know there is God for in it. But what I did was, when I was in the place that I didn't want to remain, I prepared myself for where I wanted to be. And that was how I found myself in the development sector. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Kingsley.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Kingsley, you can take your turn now.
Okay, sir. Good evening to everybody. Thank you, the speakers. My question is how to switch career now. My question is both for Mr. Osho and Mr. Theophilus. Now, is a person is having science background. Me, I'm having a science background, but I have always loved to work probably in a company space, but I always have this edge. Maybe if I go to an interview in a company space, they always look at my science background and I may not get the offer. But probably if I go to a school, okay, I feel like if I go to a school, I always get offer in school than company, and I don't like it. I had admission that I want to work for a company, but I don't have the opportunity to work for a company because I get turned down because of my science background. So how can one overturn this? Or should I not say that because of always having this opportunity as a science person, should I now build a career around it? That has been a kind of a confusion for me. I don't know if anybody can assist me with that.
Mr. Osho, can you assist?
Yes, I think what I can say for now, what I will start with is that you, like Mr. Theophilus said, when you want to develop competence in a particular area, you first of all work for it. Now, let me give you an example of when I switched back to law. No, the law profession is such that nobody's ready to entertain you in their firm or trust you with the fortune or the life savings of their clients. Let me make it clear in this term. You are a fresh graduate from the law school. You walk into a law firm. They have a case that involves somebody's asset, his life asset. No law firm wants to give you the case file and say go to court and go and search this case out. Because if you mess up with the case, the entire savings of that person is gone. The credibility of that law firm is gone. So law firms are reluctant, let me put it that way, of bringing in new wigs on board. So what do? The first thing is, that's why you always hear that law students or law graduates, they don't pay them much. Why? Because they are seen that they don't have any value to add to that firm. So what do? In most cases, you start with, you don't look at the money. Look at the value you want to add to that organization. The first law firm I worked in when I came to Lagos, because when I was there, it was not the money that was important, but for me to get the experience, for me to get the credibility, for me to get the credence, for me to get the trust. So when you, like you said, you find yourself in a situation in which you want to switch to a particular field and you are getting roadblocks, the first thing you need to present to them is the value you want to add, not the money you want to collect from them. I can tell you, every organization will want to entertain anybody that wants to add value to them without taking much from them or without even taking at all. And by the time they see that you are here, you are able to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for them. By the time you want to tell them that, oh, start paying me or I want to leave, they call you to the negotiation table. So the most first important thing is for you to do when switching to that particular career is for you to first of all come on a very low cadre. Get the experience first. Get yourself keyed into that particular profession, into that particular industry. If you enter an organization and you tell them, particularly like Mr. Theophilus said, if it's not in a technical area like law, medicine, and all that, then if you tell them, if the employer knows that you are going to render these services for them at a very low cost or no cost at all, then they will be ready to bring you on board. They will be able to trust you with little or with the little issues they have, then you can progress from there. Thank you.
Let me add this to the thoughts with some case studies. Two I'm going to share. I'll share my sister. My younger sister studied physical education, University of Ilorin. She wanted to do medicine, but those are in Ilorin. The competition of Ilorin, I think Christian and Muslim issues, and then she didn't get medicine, but she was given physical education. Now, she used that to get a job into education in Abuja as a teacher. She didn't do physical education as a teacher, but she felt physical education, I don't want it. What can I do? So she just went back to secondary school. She was the first, she got, what do they call it, a parallel. So biology was very good for her. That area that she does not need to struggle. So they needed a biology teacher in one school. That area was open and she's slotting. Now, she never liked teaching, but I'll tell you that while she was teaching, you can go and check the record. She got award, not just small award. She got a multi-choice award that took her to South Africa. She got several awards that Microsoft engaged her as a teacher that will teach other teachers nationwide. So that's that FCT gave her a special portfolio as a teacher that she knows how to use STEM to teach, combines science, technology, and engineering and mathematics to teach biology. Now, she's now moving to IT. How did she do that migration? She started using that STEM to get interest in IT courses. Now, the challenge she's having now is that she doesn't have experience where she is now. She doesn't have IT experience to be able to migrate into IT. Now, you know what she did? She kind of brought herself back to volunteer in IT. Do you see that route now? To volunteer. She's volunteering now, doing volunteering now in IT, so that she can be able to, she has done a lot of IT courses. The recent one, Jira, she and I were still talking on Jira a couple of days ago. There are several platforms. She was in our last general meeting that we had. She has learned several working tools, but because of experience, they can't take her. So she now went back now. That's somebody who has been a teacher for, if she's still in teaching now, she's level 10. So you know what it means to be a level 10 officer. She's a master's holder. So she went all the way, wanted to go into health sector. At the end of the day, the area she so much love is IT. Now, I'm saying this, Kingsley, because let me give you my own example now. I read geography in school. When I left school, I was at home doing nothing. And I was getting insulted when I want to take the car out. They would tell me that you cannot drive the car. Those kind of insults that would make you understand that you are not being welcome at home. You need to make something to yourself. But I remember I went to Aptech and I had a teacher in Aptech. I went to meet him because he had set up himself. I said, sir, please, can you give me a space? He gave me a space, not knowing what he would use me for. I never knew that he gave me the space because of my father. That, okay, maybe I'll be there. I'll be able to, my father will see that I'm working. They will get contracts. But while I was there, I was saying, no, I will not be here doing nothing. They don't do projects. They don't do anything. They'll just wait for working students to come in. It's a training firm to working students to come in. I make sure that money came into that business. I remember a friend of mine, a colleague of mine said a couple of years ago that, do you remember when you joined us, they were not doing anything, that you told our boss that just give us 5,000 naira, let us do flyers. And that led to a project, that a business that was bringing money in. That was how I was moving around with my boss. I became a special staff with my boss. I saw a poster of training in India. And I started asking him, how do they do this training in India? And I started psyching me, and if you do well now, we can sponsor you. You go to India. I said, how much is it? He said, like 1 million naira. But I know that the home I come from, I could afford that. So I went to tell my dad, see what's going on. I remember on the street of Use 2, near Sherry Plaza, that is broken down now. My boss and I were working together with another big shot in Lagos, Mr. Wale. Mr. Wale was telling my boss that this guy is going to India. I'm telling you, he will come back, cannot handle it again. And truly, I came back. I was training in 3 different centers. I was earning per hour. 3 different centers. Although it was not convenient for them paying me per hour, it was convenient for them to have this in salary, so they will use me like Jackie. But I was earning per hour before, and I said my area of interest is telecoms, and I joined the telecom training firm. So the fact is that whatever you are doing now, I said this again, like I've heard it before, will lead you to the next place you are going. Whatever you are doing now, lead you to the next place. So do not see it as if, and we've read it several times here, take that place serious while you are building your next place. There's no journey that does not make sense. So that's my own addition to it. Any other question? We're not supposed to take time. So many people are busy, including our speakers. Is anybody here that asks questions to want to ask, because we want to close the section now? No question.
Can we ask Kingsley, Mr. Kingsley, if he's got something? Yeah.
Kingsley, you are the one that asked question earlier now. Is that okay?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's okay.
Lawrence.
Yeah,
we have Lawrence, we have Sarah here. Just so then, and Timmy. They work as a team. Semi, Lawrence, Sarah. Are you shy of talking or you're not there?
Well, yes, sir.
You don't have questions then. You don't have any questions. Okay. One thing I would like you to also know is that it's a journey. It may not get the right answer instantly, but you have been into an organization that can help you to pass your way by having an ability to speak to people like Mr. Theophilus and Barrister Shaw. So as you are part of us now, there's an opportunity for you to meet more people and then meet us physically. Barrister Shaw is in Lagos. Mr. Theophilus is in Abuja here. And for those of you that are not in those two places, do not get bothered. We are very, very open. It's a network. It's a network. We'll help you out since you are part of us now. So as you grow in your career path, see us as part of you, because we know that it's not a decision you make in one day. Sometimes you want to make some decisions, you want to be sure of how you do it. So we'll help you out. And please encourage your peers that are not here. Such programs like this, it's a lot to give. It's a lot to give. I know these are information you may hear from several places, hear from churches, from mosques, from the mosques, but there's no learning that is enough. You continue learning, till you are full enough. Even we are still learning too. We are still finding our foot in some places of decision. So that is basically what I want to tell you. So I want to appreciate our speakers for responding to us. Barrister Shaw, Mr. Theophilus, I want to say thank you very, very much. In fact, I know people pay for this, to have people to come on sessions like this to speak. Thank you very much for responding to us and then giving us an opportunity to hear from you. We hope that our members and our participants will see and have been able to ask questions. I was calling Sarah. Sarah has spoken to me one-on-one. I was hoping that she will speak to one or two persons here to speak. So, in absence of any no questions, I think we can close the meeting, and then we can say a good evening. Is that okay? We can all open our mic now. Let's open our mic to say, yes. Yeah, good night.
Yes, that's fine,
yeah.
sir.
Good night. Good night. So thank you for coming.
Good night.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
See you at the top.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Great.